Here's my biggest rant. We got this whole big thing. The Republicans are going to cut taxes. Donald Trump's going to cut taxes for corporations. Forget the middle class tax cuts. That's minor. Middle class people don't pay much taxes except for Social Security, and we can't afford to cut that because it's going to be in a deficit for as far as the eye can see. So what is this tax cut going to do? It's going to cut taxes for corporations, people who own businesses, and high-level executives who make money off those businesses and the stock options and stuff. It is going to be a boon for the rich. We already have the highest income inequality since 1929, before the Great Depression set in. This is not a trend we want to exaggerate. This is not going to be a middle-class tax cut. But here's the thing. If it were really going to help the economy, I'd be for it. If it was going to restore 3 to 4% growth, yeah, it might pay for itself. Not going to happen. Number one, we have the lowest unemployment we've had in a long time, 4.1%. What we've done since the recession of 2008-9 is hire back the workers that were laid off. People and the government and economists don't get that. Our workforce is not growing. There are more baby boomers retiring, or nearly as much, as millennials entering the workforce now. Our workforce is going to slow, actually, in the next several years, and then grow at 0.2%. Did you hear that? 0.2% for decades. We don't need more workers, and if you're going to hire more workers from these great tax cuts, you're going to have to draw them out of retirement or off of disability. Do you want those workers? Corporate profits are averaging 9%, 11% recently, but 9% for the last several years since quantitative easing gave companies free money to buy back their stocks and lower their borrowing costs, a free lunch, 9% profits, the highest ever. Do corporations need a tax cut? No, they don't. And if they've been using free money from quantitative easing and super low interest rates largely to buy back their own stocks, to accelerate their earnings per share instead of their real earnings, and instead of investing in real new capacity and jobs and mergers and acquisitions and all this stuff that funny money makes easy, then they're going to do more if they save money in taxes. They're not going to expand capacity. So this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I'm just going to come right out. I know a lot of our people think, oh, tax cuts are good, supply side. Look, when Reagan came into office in 1980s, in the early 80s, we had had the highest inflation in history. You know what inflation screams? Supply crisis. We need more. We need productivity. The 70s was the lowest productivity decade in American history at under 1%. You know what we're now? We're low now. But we had a supply crisis. You know what our capacity utilization now is for corporations? 75, 76% in recent years. 85% is typical, 90% is optimum. We have more capacity than we need. And you think we have excess capacity? The second largest economy, now rivaling the United States, China, has more excess capacity than we do by a mile. The world is swimming in excess capacity. That's why deflation is the trend, not inflation. The cure for deflation is not to encourage companies to expand capacity when they have excess capacity. It's to cut back and reduce that capacity. Even China now is just closing down steel mills and stuff because they've overdone it. So this is the wrong time. Look, there is a right time. The early 80s was a time to cut taxes and encourage business investment. This is not the right time. This is only going to make higher deficits in this downturn, and the downturn is coming, damn it, I swear it is. It's only going to make deficits of $1 trillion a year to $1.5 trillion or $2 trillion. Forget this $1.5 trillion. They say it's going to increase the deficit over the next 10 years. This is going to be trillions. I will almost guarantee you one thing. The government debt has doubled in every 2 administrations, every 8 years since George W. Bush. 5 to 10 under him, 10 to 20 under Obama. It's going to be 20 to 40 under Trump or whoever survives this downturn, and it's probably not going to be him. Whether you like him or not, whoever got elected, I said in 2016, will wish they had not. So This is the wrong policy for this time. And it may have a lot of challenges, more than expected, and that's not going to be good for the stock market. But I'm just saying it's the wrong policy for the winter season of deflation. It would be the right policy for the fall season, late 70s, early 80s, of inflation. Simple as that.